Ever have a week where nothing is technically wrong, yet something feels just heavy? You wake up, you go through your usual routine, you check your emails, you drink your coffee, and suddenly your brain feels like it's juggling and you're carrying something you can't even name. There's no fire, there's no crisis, there's no dramatic life event, just this weight that makes moving through your day feel like you're wading through mud. You can't point to one thing. You can't fix it. And maybe you're even wondering if something is wrong with you. And that's okay, because feeling heavy doesn't have to mean failure or crisis or there's fire alarms going on. It just means that this season is asking for a little bit more attention, a little bit more space, or maybe even a little bit more patience from yourself. Today we're going to explore why some seasons feel heavier than others, even when life seems perfectly fine. And we'll talk about simple ways to lighten that load without changing your whole life. Welcome to And That's Okay, the podcast where we explore the ups and downs of life and remind ourselves that whatever we're feeling, it's for a reason, and that's okay. I'm Lisa Renee Scott, your host and a passionate believer that every feeling matters and every step forward counts. Each week, we'll dive into real-life challenges, share relatable experiences, and uncover simple, actionable steps to help you navigate it all. So let's take a deep breath, lean in, and get started. So why does life feel heavy sometimes when nothing is technically wrong? Let's break it down. First of all, there are things called invisible stressors. They're tiny annoyances like traffic or a coworker's offhand comment, maybe even an email that you forgot to answer. They don't scream for attention, but your brain stacks them anyway. Research shows that repeated low-level stress can trigger the same biological response as a major crisis, leaving you tense, foggy, and exhausted. Then there's the emotional carryover. Ever had a conversation or interaction that lingered in your head long after it ended? Maybe it wasn't dramatic, but it sticks. Studies also suggest that unresolved microstressors can build up and impact sleep, focus, and overall mood. Let's talk about cultural and seasonal pressures, because we are in the holidays, and holidays, back to school routines, deadlines, or subtle pressure to perform can all weigh on you, even if you aren't doing anything extreme. Just noticing that pressure can help you breathe a little bit easier. And then there's the comparison creep. There's social media, one scroll, and suddenly someone's perfectly organized pantry makes your kitchen look like a small tornado hit it. I laughed at myself when that happened to me last week and had to say to myself, and that's okay. It didn't reflect my skills or priorities or values. It was just a fleeting thought. Let's pause and reflect for just a second. Let's take a breath and notice the invisible load that you might be carrying right now. And ask yourself these 3 questions. What little stressors have I been holding on to without naming them? Is there any leftover tension from past interactions or discussions or conversations? Have I compared myself to anyone recently? Just noticing these 3 things can shift your perspective. Awareness isn't a fix, but it is the first step toward relief. Think about the pantry story. Simply noticing how my brain was spinning changed the experience entirely. Now, let's talk about practical ways that you can lighten your mental load and why they work. Number 1 is always my number 1. You have to name the feeling. You have to say it out loud. I feel whatever it is you feel. Okay. So in this particular instance, we're talking about things that are feeling heavy. So I feel heavy today. Research shows that labeling emotions reduces the intensity and improves focus. Just by acknowledging the weight gives it less power. Number 2, set one micro boundary. Pick one small thing to say no to this week. Maybe it's skipping a non-essential meeting because you know we have them. Or declining one social obligation because, let me tell you, the calendar is going to fill up between now and the beginning of the year. But you don't have to attend everything. Even small boundaries reduce cognitive load and freeing energy for what matters most. Number 3 is super important. Micro self-care. It doesn't have to be big. Even 5 minutes of walking, stretching, or journaling reduces cortisol and increases endorphins. It doesn't have to be big. 10 minutes outside, listening to the birds. My brain feels lighter almost instantly when I do that. Number 4, step back from comparison triggers. Social media, news, and notifications feeds are subtle stressors. Stepping away, even if it's just for a short period, lets your brain reset. Research suggests even brief disconnection improves mood and reduces anxiety. I want you to time yourself. Start with just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a half hour, an hour. Start with a specific time frame. You're going to feel yourself urging to look at your phone, but don't do it. Give it the full time frame that you have given yourself. Number 5, write it or share it. Journaling or talking to someone you trust helps process stress externally. And studies show expressing feelings on paper can reduce perceived stresses by 25%. If you spend just 10 minutes writing down everything that's cluttering your mind, and then you can toss away the paper, the weight is lifted. These aren't huge life changes. They're small shifts, tiny steps, repeated consistently, shift perspective and energy. And that's okay. Heaviness doesn't signal failure. It's a sign that your mind and body need attention, even in small doses. Tiny steps like a brief walk, journaling a few thoughts, saying no at least once. They can quietly shift your energy. You don't need a grand overhaul. You just need to notice, adjust, and move little by little. And celebrating those micro steps keeps momentum alive, even in heavy seasons. Meaningful progress happens quietly and steadily. And that's okay. Thanks for tuning into this episode of And That's Okay. I hope our conversation left you encouraged and equipped with practical steps you can start using in your own life. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might need this message. And if you're loving the podcast, you'll definitely want to grab a copy of my book, And That's Okay. It's available on Amazon or through my website. Just check the link in my bio or the captions of this episode. For daily inspiration and reflections and more tools to support your growth, come connect with me on social media. I would love to hear how you're applying these steps in your own life. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you that I'm not a licensed doctor or therapist. I'm simply sharing experiences and insights that have helped me and others like me along the way. Remember, whatever you're feeling or going through, you have feelings, and that's okay.